They didn't stab me in the back. They hugged me first and whispered promises against my spine. Right before they shoved the blade in, their words, sweet, sticky, golden lies, the kind that drip slowly before they rot. Their smiles were masks, and I was too loyal to see the cracks. Too loyal, too blind. I gave them loyalty. They gave me a stage to bleed on. Right in the center. Right where the light hit hardest. So everyone could watch. They didn't want my silence. They wanted my collapse. They wanted to see the fall, then pretend they didn't push me. They feasted while I starved. They laughed while I drowned. They toasted to my downfall, using cups I filled for them. Their silence was calculated, not absent strategy. They didn't forget me. They chose to ignore the sound of my bones breaking. Do you know how betrayal really feels? It's not loud, it's not fire, it's the quiet. The moment when every face you trusted looks away, like you never existed, and still they smiled as they twisted the blade, as if my blood was their reward, as if pain made me disposable. But I didn't vanish, I didn't die. I knelt, and I listened to the sound of everything I built are burning. But remember this, the ash they left me in now clings to their name. It stains their footsteps. It whispers when they speak. It follows, because you don't walk away from a storm when you are the reason it was born. Do you know what silence screams? Every name that left you behind, not in anger, not in chaos, just absence, the kind that cuts cleaner than any blade. They say silence is peaceful. They've never drowned in it. They've never tried to breathe when all that fills your lungs is memory. I didn't break. No, I bent. Bent until the bones hummed with hatred, until the spine stopped asking to stand, until the soul forgot it ever had wings. I begged not for help, for meaning. Why them? Why now? Why me? And the only answer was silence. Each night I counted the echoes, each one a ghost, each one a reminder. Not a single one was theirs. Not a voice. Not a whisper. Not even a shadow brave enough to stand beside mine. They vanished when my fire dimmed, but came running when the smoke rose, when the glow returned, when the ashes caught flame. That's when they remembered I existed. But in that void I wasn't searching for them. I was burying who I used to be. I dug the grave with my own hands, tossed in the trust, the mercy, the hope, and I left him there, the version of me that needed them. I walked away, not healed, not whole, but aware that silence wasn't the enemy, it was the mirror, and what I saw staring back wasn't a victim. It was the beginning of something unforgiving. It wasn't vengeance that woke me. It was clarity. Cold, precise, unforgiving. Like steel drawn across the throat of every lie I once believed. I saw their betrayal, not as my end, but as a map. A cursed map carved in pain. Each scar a direction. Each silence, a warning. Each wound, a compass. They thought they buried me in the silence. They didn't realize the boy they silenced was never meant to stay buried. Because when you dig your own grave, you learn the shape of it. You memorize the weight of the dirt. And when you rise, you know exactly where to throw the ones who buried you. They buried the boy in shadows, but the man rose in screams they can't silence, in storms they can't run from, in fire they thought they had extinguished. My scars are not memories, they are blueprints. They are etched plans for every throne I plan to steal, for every crown I will take without asking. And from the ashes, I heard one thing, not whispered, commanded, stand and make them kneel. I cut my past loose, not to forget, but to walk lighter toward war. Every memory I carried was weight, and the battlefield doesn't spare the slow. They say time heals, number, time sharpens. Time turns blood into iron, tears into tactics. Mercy, that's a luxury the betrayed can't afford. Not when kindness is what got you gutted. Not when every outstretched hand was just another rope for the hanging. I don't beg for closure anymore. I burn what doesn't serve the fire. I looked in the mirror and didn't see a victim. I saw a weapon, primed, quiet, waiting. No more asking why. No more wishing they had stayed. No more hoping they'd return with answers or apologies. Forgiveness is for those still searching for peace. I stopped looking because peace never built empires. Peace never carved thrones out of bones. Let them drown in their comfort. Let them sit in the warmth of their mediocrity. Let them sip from the cup of forgettable lives. I learned to breathe in fire, to inhale pain like oxygen, to make suffering a habit, to smile through the scorch marks and call them birthmarks. I became something else, not because I wanted to, but because they left me no choice. The storm didn't change me, it revealed me, and when I saw myself clearly, I didn't flinch, I didn't cry, I nodded, because the mirror didn't lie. It showed me exactly what they made, something without mercy, and without limits. I wear a crown forged from the bones of who I used to be. Every fracture, every scar, every betrayal, melted down, sharpened, shaped, until the past itself became my armor. They made me a monster, but I refused to stop there. I chose to become a legend, because monsters are feared for a moment. Legends, they are feared forever. Understand this. I don't seek revenge. Revenge is small. Revenge ends when the blade is clean. I architect legacies. I build empires from rubble. I carve kingdoms out of ruins. Theirs, mine, it doesn't matter. Stone is stone when it's crushed beneath your will. They laughed when I knelt, when the ashes clung to me, when I was nothing but silence. Their laughter echoed like victory, but echoes fade. And when mine faded, only power remained. Now, they'll kneel, or choke on their regret. They'll bow, or break. They'll whisper my name, or be buried beneath it. Every fire they set around me, I lit the throne I now sit on. Every spark they thought would consume me, I became fuel. Every storm they sent to drown me, filled the rivers I now rule. I did not rise because they allowed it. I rose because their betrayal demanded it. Because their knives sharpened me. Because their silence crowned me. And this crown I wear It isn't gold. It isn't jeweled. It is bone. Bone of the man I buried. Bone of the weakness I abandoned. I am not king because I was chosen. I am king because I refused to remain on my knees. Now I walk where they feared to crawl. Every step I take crushes the echoes of their laughter. Every breath I draw rewrites the air they once claimed. There is no need for war cries, no need for thunder in my throat. The silence of my presence burns louder than any scream. It weighs heavier than any crown they ever placed on their hollow heads. I don't need their praise. Their fear is louder. I don't crave their applause. Their trembling is enough. I don't seek their forgiveness. Their nightmares will preach my gospel for me. Let history forget their names. Let their legacy rot in footnotes. Let their children inherit dust. But mine will be carved into the stones they once stood on, unmoved, unbroken, eternal. Kneeling in the ashes wasn't my end. It was the beginning of their obedience, their surrender, their silence. Because silence is no longer my prison. It is my weapon. It is my kingdom. And when I enter the room, silence bows first. The kind of silence that makes the weak shiver. The kind that turns hope into ash before the word is spoken. Remember this. I do not need to roar. I do not need to announce my throne. I am the throne. I am the storm's aftermath. I am the shadow that remains when the fire burns out. And long after their bones turn to dust, long after their names are erased, the silence they'll remember will be mine.